Hey, welcome to 5 to Now. As promised from yesterday, with all the excitement surrounding the found treasure of Forest Fen in the Rocky Mountains, here's a quick 5 to Know of 5 other treasures that are still up for grabs in the U.S. We're going to start with the head honcho here. The secret is a treasure hunt started by Byron Price in 1982. He buried 12 treasure boxes at secret locations in the U.S. and Canada. The book contains 12 images and 12 verses, which link to a clue. Through the end of 2019, only 3 of the 12 boxes have been found. The 9 remaining treasure boxes are still out there, but the locations of them have at least been solved for the most part, not necessarily where exactly the boxes at those locations are. Couple of good old gangster treasures coming your way. In April of 1934, the legendary John Dillinger managed to escape from Little Bohemia Lodge in Wisconsin before he was captured by the FBI. He got through the back door with a suitcase full of, $200,000 in unmarked bills. It's said that he ran a few yards north, buried that suitcase, and it remains there to this day, somewhere in the woods in northern Wisconsin. And then there was Dutch Schultz, who was a bootlegging gangster in New York in the 1920s. He was getting in trouble more than a few times before he knew that he needed to move his fortune somewhere safe. So, naturally, he sent his bodyguard, Bernard Rosecrans, into the Catskills with a measly treasure worth somewhere between $5 million and $9 million. Here's the bad news, though. Schultz and his men were taken out in 1935 by a rival gang. Rosecrans, the bodyguard, died right away. Schultz survived the attack, but then died later, but not before he incoherently chatted about that treasure in the woods. Next up is the Thomas Beale cipher. In 1816, Beale and his men discovered, in today's money, $63 million in gold, silver, and jewels hidden in the Rocky Mountains. Like the good men that they were, they wanted to make sure this treasure would be passed down to their kin if they were to die before getting back home. So, Beale got the bright idea to create 3 ciphers. The first would give away the location of the treasure, the second would tell the contents, and the third would be for the names of the kin. Each cipher was given to Virginia innkeeper Robert Morris. The instructions went like this. If Beale didn't return in 10 years, a key would be delivered to Morris to open the box containing the ciphers. Here's the thing. The key and Beale never returned. And finally, a treasure connected to General Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn. It was more to do with the Far West steamboat that was sailing up Bighorn River, which was captained by Grant Marsh. Before he could reach his destination, he got word that the Custer massacre happened, so they diverted their mission to Fort Lincoln near Bismarck. Here's the thing, the Far West was carrying gold valued at around $375,000. And since they had to get out of there in a jiffy, the Far West had to unload its heavy bounty, because the weight of the gold, plus the weight of the 51 wounded men and additional firewood to make it to Fort Lincoln, made the Far West a very easy target. So General Marsh buried that treasure around the shore of the river, planning to get it back later, but it seems a mudslide had washed it all away. What does this mean? That a considerable hoard of gold is buried somewhere along Bighorn River, just waiting to be found. And there's your 5 to Know treasures that are still up for grabs in the U.S. I'm your host and producer, Nat Cardona. I'll see you later.